Moisture in the dirt is incredibly important to us. We've got a very custom infield blend. It's 53% sand and then equal parts ratio silt to clay, so about 23.5% each. So the moisture binds those together. We roll the field almost daily and we nail drag it to make sure that it stays nice and smooth, and we constantly are adding water to it. Every night before we leave, we put it underwater so that when we leave, it's literally standing water on the dirt, and that gives us good moisture for the next day, and it gives us a good consistency to work with the next morning. Once we get work done in the morning on the dirt, we're watering it again, and just depending on how much sun there is and the temperature and the dew point and the wind and where shadows are, what time of day the game's going to be, we have to take a lot of circumstances into mind. But we go super heavy at night and heavy in the morning, and then we back off throughout the day, so that in pregame, when we after BP is done and we do a final drag, we can do just a light water just to give it a little bit of color and just to keep any dust down and just make sure everything is nice and consistent. But moisture it's incredibly important for us to hold the infield together and keep it bound to it. Acts as the glue to bind the infield material together. It's very important for the mound and the plate because those areas are clay, at least for us, and it's what we recommend to any facility is to use clay, because it's just going to hold up. It's going to be a little bit more durable, but at the same time it requires a lot of moisture and a lot of maintenance, which a lot of these places don't have. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. It is important to tarp those areas, because if they get too wet, in a rain situation, then they're going to take a long time to become playable. If they dry out, they almost become unsafe because it gets so hard or powdery, and it's not a good situation as well. So just like with the infield dirt, moisture is so important. The clay that we use, again, we keep it very moist, we keep it very wet, not muddy, but very wet. We keep good moisture down through the system. It holds up the best that way. The players seem to really respond well to it, and they've been happy with it. So for us, the mound and the plate are covered at all times unless they're actually being worked on or being played on. So like right now, we're done with the game, everybody's gone home, they're covered up. So tomorrow morning when we come back in, they'll be uncovered for a couple hours while we work on them, do all our repairs from today's game, and then they'll be covered up again until either batting practice or all the way until game time, depending on what's going on through afternoon. But, tarps are very important for keeping moisture in. I know a big infield tarp is kind of out of the question for most facilities. They just don't have the manpower. Plus, if it's out there and it doesn't necessarily get forgotten about, but it can't get pulled off, and you get some bright sun like this for a couple hours, it's real easy to fry your field and lose all the turf. So, it's a luxury, but it's a cost at the same time. Nothing's perfect. I tell the guys on the crew, with everything, nothing's perfect. There's costs and benefits to everything. Benefit, we're able to protect the infield. Cost, it takes a lot of manpower.